Tonight at 10, Madison police are looking into a shots fired incident. Why they say it's only a matter of time before an innocent person is hurt. And the Brewers heading for Colorado now on a Rocky Mountain high after taking Game 2 at Miller Park. The highlights just ahead.
This is News 3 at 10.
And you are taking a live look outside of downtown Madison right now. A chance of rain tonight and throughout the weekend here in southern Wisconsin. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti for the latest on what's happening outside. Gary?
Eric, we don't need any more rain, but the good news, at least in the short term, is it looks like the heaviest rains are shifting a little farther to the south. As we take a look, first of all, at the flash flood watch, that has now been canceled for areas north of Dane County. So Crawford, Richland, Sauk, Columbia, and Dodge counties, those are out of the watch. Dane County and areas down toward the Illinois state line remain in the flash flood watch through 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. The first round of showers, and they were mainly just rain showers, pushed through southern Wisconsin. You can see a couple of flashes of lightning starting to pop up between Madison and Janesville, but for the most part, these have just been rain showers. The thunderstorms have been more concentrated farther to the south in northern Illinois and southern and eastern Iowa, and they're heading more toward the Chicago area than toward far southern Wisconsin. Low temperatures this morning started out in the middle 40s. High temperatures today, upper 50s to lower 60s in far southeastern Wisconsin. Northern parts of or central Wisconsin stayed in the 40s. And current temperatures are very near those high temperatures for the day. These temperatures are probably not going to move very much through the overnight hours. In fact, the shower and thunderstorm chances will probably come to an end tomorrow morning. We'll see cloudy skies linger for much of the day. A high of 60 tomorrow will probably be early in the day with temperatures falling off a bit in the afternoon. But more rain is on the way for the end of the weekend into much of next week. I'll have the first alert forecast in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. Next at 10, the Brewers now a win away from the National League Championship Series after a Game 2 victory over Colorado this afternoon at Miller Park. That's 10 straight wins now for the Brewers. Jeremy Jeffress, after a rocky Game 1, bounces back with 2 scoreless innings, teaming with the Brewer bullpen and starter Ulysses Chassin to shut out the Rockies. 4-0 your final. Eric Kratz drove in 2. Mike Moustakas, again, a clutch RBI single. Hernan Perez, 2 doubles and an RBI. Game 3 is Sunday in Denver, 3:37 Central Time. More than 44,000 packed the stadium for Game 2 today, and the excitement wasn't confined to Miller Park. News 3's Adam Duxter tells us how one Milwaukee bar is handling this postseason rush.
You don't have to be at the stadium or outside the stadium, for that matter, to experience playoff baseball in Milwaukee. Today I spent Brewers pregame at the fourth base. This afternoon, fans filed into Miller Park, hungry for another victory, hoping their Brewers could take a 2-0 series lead against the Colorado Rockies. Just down the road, Brewer fans were expressing a different kind of hunger.
I got a nice shaved steak sandwich that you guys will see here in a little bit.
At the fourth base in Milwaukee, it's about sports and food, but it's also about friends. Friends who would fly across the country on a whim just to see the game with you.
Very quick turnaround. Got in here about noon today, head back out of Madison tomorrow afternoon.
All the way from Atlanta, Tom Hannon says it's worth it to be with his buddies and to see the Brewers in the postseason.
Well, I was hoping for the Cubs, because Cubs-Brewers is always fun, but it really didn't matter.
It's part of the playoff magic that's taking over the city of Milwaukee. Fourth base owner C.J. Papara says he feels it too.
I mean, obviously it's been, 2011 was the last time we had playoff baseball like this. And, and it's just it's that excitement in the air. So it's not very many of these October baseball games that you get.
And as Papara serves up food to the customers at his bar, he's hoping the team he loves can serve up something special as well.
See, I don't want to jinx them, but I know I got a good feeling about them. It's gonna, this won't be our last home game.
Now, one other unique thing about the fourth base is that there's no menus. Rather, you tell the chef directly what you would like. As for what the chef would like, more playoff baseball. In Milwaukee, Adam Duxter, WISC News 3.
Now, it would take the series between the Brewers and Rockies going the full 5 games for there to be another divisional playoff game at Miller Park. Would that be the case? That game would be next Wednesday. This series also being called the Beer Series. 2 beer companies squaring off, both ballparks in Milwaukee and Denver, named for the brewing companies, which are both owned by Molson Coors. So if the Brewers win the series, fans in Milwaukee get a free Miller at participating bars October 12th. Same goes for Denver, each city with long brewing traditions. Miller opening back in 1855 Coors was founded in 1873 in suburban Golden, Colorado. News 3, your place to turn to for Brewers coverage. Kevin Lewis will be along with another update, complete highlights and post-game reaction from Miller Park, along with your Prep Mania highlights. Next at 10, Platteville police have arrested a man accused of grabbing a woman and trying to drag her across a street. Officers say they arrested 25-year-old Amadeus Tony of Platteville for 4th-degree sexual assault. Platteville police received a report early Thursday that a man was trying to attack a woman on Roundtree Avenue. A woman says a man grabbed her after following her. She says she was able to break free, yell for help, but that Tony grabbed her again. The woman was able to get the attention of people nearby, and Tony eventually ran off. Madison police are looking for a shooter today after an innocent bystander was almost caught in gunfire last night. Police tell us they received several reports of shots fired on the west side around 11:30 last night. One witness at the intersection of South Whitney Way and Schrader Road saw an arm stick out of an SUV with a gun and start firing. Another witness saw 2 men in an SUV, heard 6 to 8 gunshots. One of those shots apparently hit a 23-year-old woman's car while she was stopped at a red light.
The frightening thing is the people that are shooting do not care where these bullets land, and there's a lot of innocent people out and about. We're a very active community. So sadly, we're bracing ourselves for something tragic.
Investigators still aren't sure of the shooter's intended target, but have no reason to believe the shooter was firing at the woman in the car. Police ask anyone who knows anything about last night's shots fired incident to call Crime Stoppers. The number on your screen there, 608-266-6014. The former DeForest police chief has a new job with another local police force. That former chief, Dan Furseth, started as a part-time officer on Monday in the town of Madison Police Department. Furseth was first placed on administrative leave in May after an 11-year-old video surfaced of him making racist comments about a group of black men. He resigned in August from his position in DeForest, but today, town of Madison Chief Scott Gregory is defending his decision to hire Furseth, who has worked in law enforcement for 30 years.
I think he has a lot of that experience he can bring to the town of Madison, and I want to be able to give him that opportunity. If he stubs his toe and falls, I will sit right here and tell you, okay, I made a mistake, and we'll move on from that.
Chief Gregory also is president of the Dane County Chiefs of Police Association, which wrote a letter in August about Furseth saying, quote, "We condemn racism in any form." Madison Mayor Paul Soglin says he's disappointed that Furseth was hired. The town of Madison will be annexed into the city of Madison in 2022. Mayor Soglin says making new hires now will just make that transition more difficult. The city of Madison relocating the Penny Library at the end of next month while its new location is under construction. The library will close to the public November 30th. It'll move to its interim space, which is an old Ace Hardware store at 209 Cottage Grove Road, in December, and then reopen in this interim space in early 2019. Penny users will be notified by email and in the library about changes as that close date nears, including alternate drop-off and pickup locations for library materials. Still to come, more rain out there as Gary has your weekend first alert forecast coming up just a few minutes. And our sports crew's been out in the elements working hard to bring you highlights from local high school football games tonight. Prep Mania scores and highlights coming up in sports.
Ashley Home.
A final confirmation vote on Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh is expected Saturday afternoon. Today, undecided senators revealed where they stood. Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine said she plans to vote yes for Kavanaugh after delivering a 43-minute speech on her decision. Shortly after, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia also gave Kavanaugh his support, the only Democrat to do so. Republican Lisa Murkowski of Alaska broke with her party, explaining her no vote on the floor tonight, but she will ask to be recorded as present tomorrow in the final tally so her colleague, a Republican senator from Montana, can attend his daughter's wedding. This means the outcome will be unchanged. The White House expressed cautious optimism earlier in the day. If confirmed, Kavanaugh could be seated on the high court in the coming week. For the first time in nearly 50 years, a Chicago police officer has been found guilty of murder in an on-duty shooting. Today, a jury convicted Officer Jason Van Dyke of murdering 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. The 2014 shooting, captured on a dashboard camera, ignited protests in the city and forced changes in the nation's second-largest police department. He could be sentenced to up to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder. We turn now to the forecast. Gary Canalti on the backyard patio. Rain has been a concern. Flooding has been a concern. Gary, hopefully it's pushing south.
Right now it appears, at least in the short term, that that's the case. The showers and thunderstorms tonight will be more prevalent farther south. As we start out by taking a look at the flash flood watch, because of that, the flash flood watch has been dropped for areas north of Dane County. So Dane County, areas to the south, flash flood watch through 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. As we take a look at the very latest computer model updates, you can see still perhaps 1 to 2 inches of rain over far southeastern Wisconsin and maybe 2 to 4 inches over parts of northern Illinois. A very sharp cutoff, though, a little shift north or south, and that could make a big difference in the rainfall totals. The farther north you go from Madison, the lesser the chance that you'll see anything heavy. You can see the first batches of showers coming through pretty light. A couple of flashes of lightning recently across parts of southeastern Wisconsin. The thunderstorms more widespread across northern Illinois and southeastern Iowa. They're heading more toward the Chicago area, although a few thunderstorms are still possible overnight. Severe weather threat, marginal risk of severe thunderstorms from Madison southward. Hail, I think, at this point would be the main threat thanks to the cool temperatures. But over the next few days, the showers and thunderstorms that we're getting tonight will be added to by more showers and storms beginning Sunday and lasting into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the GFS computer model forecast shows an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain, maybe locally heavier in spots across southern Wisconsin through early Thursday morning. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. A few showers have been pushing on through from time to time. Almanac for today shows a small change in temperatures. 45, the overnight low temperature. The high temperature 58 thanks to the cloud cover. We're at 55 now. Skies are cloudy. The air is calm, and the humidity is high thanks to the rain that came through. Badgers forecast, of course, they play Nebraska tomorrow night at 6:30. Kickoff at Camp Randall. Right now it looks like it'll be cloudy. Just a slight chance for a shower. Otherwise, on the cool side, kickoff temperature about 51. By the time the game ends, fifth quarter rolls around, about 49 degrees. Weather track shows southwesterly winds aloft, continuing to pump moisture into the Midwest, but the stationary front has stopped across northern Illinois. It's not moved into southern Wisconsin. That's good news. Again, that'll keep the threat for heavier rain just to our south. And as low pressure in the plains heads northeastward, that'll continue that trend. Look at the high temperatures today. 91 in Paducah, Kentucky. 40 in Bismarck, North Dakota, and temperatures were in the 30s over much of the northern part of that state, and they're in the 30s there now. There was some light snow in far northern Wisconsin today. Temperatures 40s and 50s here. You can see to the south, though, still as warm as 80 degrees in St. Louis, even at this hour. Our forecast for tonight calls for that flash flood watch for Dane County and areas to the south through 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Look for an overnight low temperature of about where we are now in the mid-50s. Showers, a few thunderstorms. Some of those could have heavy downpours south of Madison. Tomorrow, look for a high of 60 with showers coming to an end. Future track shows the showers and storms rolling on out tonight. Cloudy for much of the day, just a slight chance for a shower. Another round of showers arriving on Sunday, and perhaps a few thunderstorms by Sunday afternoon with cool temperatures through the weekend. And those rainfall amounts heaviest over southeastern Wisconsin, lighter up to the north. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see that those temperatures warm up early next week, but shower and thunderstorm chances continue through Wednesday. Will dry out and turn cooler for the end of the week with high temperatures in the 50s Thursday and Friday and lows in the mid-30s Friday morning.
2 weeks to go in the regular season, and stakes stay high across southern Wisconsin. Tonight, we start in the Badger Conference, where unbeaten Monona Grove would like to stay that way as they host 5-2 Stoughton, who's trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Stoughton had the lead in this one. 7-0 until MG puts her foot on the gas. Brady Killerlane finds a killer lane to run through. 41 yards later, he scores, and it's 14-7 Silver Eagles. Ethan Beener keeping it on the ground. 4-yard touchdown. 21-7 for the Powder Blues. Third quarter, it's Beener again. Powder Blues getting dirty in the rain. Ethan doesn't care. He scores again, and for emphasis, it's Killer Lane. Does his best work on the ground. Monona Grove wins big and stays undefeated, 42-7. The final. Watertown taking on Oregon. 5 minutes left, second quarter. Ball in the 22. Nolan Look. Gonna throw. Keon Zudi stays in bounds and scores. It's 10-0 Panthers. 4th down and 1. Oregon punches it in here to take a 17-0 lead. 16 seconds left in the half. Ethan Pauly going to do his part to get Watertown on the board, but too much Oregon. They win 31-20. The final. Wanakee celebrating senior night, taking on Baraboo. They played some inspired football. A couple minutes in, Jarrett Wolf going up top. Sawyer Motley jumps, catches. 64 yards later, he scores. 7-0 Warriors, and it's Wolf. Rolling left, let's tuck it and run. Why not? Keep it yourself. Tiptoes, stretches, scores. That made it 22-0. Late in the half, Brock Turkington gets rid of the yeah, that's not how you draw it up in practice. 43-0. Wanakee pitches a shutout over Baraboo. Some other Badger Conference action. DeForest 25-22 winners over Mount Horror Barneveld, getting a late score. Milton all over Fort Atkinson, 41-6. Reedsburg Beavers going 49 on Portage. Monroe takes care of Edgewood, and Sauk Prairie wins on homecoming, taking down Beaver Dam 13-7. Surprise, surprise, the Big 8 Conference comes down to the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Broken record time. Middleton won a blowout on last Friday's game of the week. Tonight, they host Sun Prairie, who could take over first place in the conference with a big road win. Middleton ball, not for long. Bryce Carey under pressure. Jahari Weah, the sack, the forced fumble. Maven Krejci, scoop, score. And the visiting Cardinals take a 7-0 lead on the home Cardinals. After a punt, how about some trickeration? Cooper Nelson, all going up top. Receiver to receiver. Ari Davis, 45 yards later, he scores. Carey would get Middleton on the board in the first half, but it would be their only score of the game. Sun Prairie turns it on and wins a big one on the road, 35-7, the final in Middleton. More scores from the Big 8. Verona doubles up Beloit Memorial, 40-20. Janesville Craig gets a big win over Madison West to improve to 6-2. Madison Memorial, what a turnaround season they're having. 7-1 now as they beat Janesville Parker 48-6. Madison La Follette gets a couple of late scores to take care of the Pergolders, 33-21. The final there. Bundle up. Cambridge taking on Marshall. Oh, babies in football, people. That's good TV. First quarter. Josh Wecking fakes the handoff, takes it in. 6-0. In second quarter, Denver Evans hands to Riley Olson. Full extension. He scores a touchdown. Cambridge be a little too much. 23 seconds left. Denver Evans again. 13-yard pass to Bailey Forsyth. And Cambridge wins big, 42-12. The final tonight. A little Swall matchup. Undefeated Fenimore. One loss, Mineral Point, second quarter. Mineral Point's Isaac Lindsay in the shotgun. Dodges the defense. Going up top. Brandon Dolphin, catch, toe tap, touchdown. That makes it 7-0. Mineral Point just 6 minutes later. Point again on offense. Lindsay back to pass, scrambles, hits Blaze Waters, touchdown. Pointers go up 2 scores. Fenimore score twice in the fourth quarter, but not enough as the Pointers hold off the Golden Eagles to win 14-12. The final. Senior night for Highland as they host undefeated Blackhawk. Blackhawk doing big things this year after a scoreless first quarter. Blackhawk on the ground. Colby Argall pushes his way to the end zone. Oh, in the mud as well. Successful on the 2-point conversion, 8-0. Later in the quarter, Cardinals. 4th down. Oh, pass. Batted away by Tyler Trium in the end zone. Turnover on downs. Next possession for Blackhawk. Threatening again. Argall punches in his second touchdown of the half. Warriors would go up 16-0, and Blackhawk ends up winning 36-12, staying unbeaten on the season. Great week 8, people. Dave, Caroline, Kim, Steppo, Jeff, the booth crew, the floor crew. You make me look arable when I untie my tongue sometimes. A big thank you to you. Let's bring it home next week at the final season week of the regular season. I wrote all that, I promise, of high school football. Kevin, are you finished? Will you figure out the English language in the next block? Yes, I will. Post-game and reaction from Game 2 of the NLDS coming up next.
News.
You get timely hitting and good pitching, you're going to win a lot of games, especially in the postseason. The Brewers getting both in the first 2 games of the National League Division Series against the Rockies. Bottom 4, runner on second. Hernan Perez. Let's trade places. Rulebook double. Mike Moustakas scores, and the Brewers take a 1-0 lead. Yuli Chacín pitching on short rest and pitching very well. Strikes out Nolan Arenado. 5 innings, no runs given up by Chacín this afternoon. The bullpen doing its thing. Josh Hader, mission accomplished in the 7th. 2-0 in the 8th. Eric Kratz, 2-out production. Broken bat single scores Ryan Braun, Orlando Arcia. That made it 4-0. Jeremy Jeffress would come in and slam the door. Brewers win 4-0, taking a 2-0 series lead. Melissa Kim, break it down.
Well, it really seems like the Brewers are getting hot at the perfect time right now, winning their 10th straight game tonight. Now, after the game, manager Craig Counsell commending Jhoulys Chacín and the entire pitching staff for really setting the tone in this win. You know, you give up 5 innings and no runs, that exceeds expectations, you know, every day.
For us, just somebody who's pitching in the game, we just always rooting for the guy. We know that he can do the job, and today was a sample.
Also big in this win, the depth of this team, because it's not just the Christian Yelich show anymore.
It's been the story of the last 6 weeks for us, for sure, is really since the trade deadline, is we've become a team with a lot of depth.
Every day somebody different. One days can be Yelich, can be Lolo, or whatever guy has to be the guy that night.
I feel like it is an incredible opportunity to be here. I don't think anybody loses that fact. I don't think anybody says I have to be here, or, oh, you've gone through so much. No, to play in this game in May is a blessing, and to play in this game on October the 6th, I think, or 5th, whatever it is a blessing.
Now, the biggest magical it factor for this team, their attitude. Chacin told us after the game that they all really believe in themselves and truly believe in each other. At Miller Park, Melissa Kim, News 3 Sports.
Melissa, thank you. In case you missed it, Thursday Night Football, the Patriots beat the Colts, blah, blah, blah. But the best play of the season, in my opinion, Patrick Chung's interception is just fine, but then, if done correctly, no can defend. That's Mr. Miyagi addressing Daniel LaRusso. We mean crane kick. Johnny Lawrence going down. You're the best around. Nothing's going to ever keep you down. One more time in the slow motion. God, can't get enough. That's so great. Gary Canalti, top that. You're next.
Okay, flash flood watch continues till 1 p.m. tomorrow for Dane County and areas to the south. You can see the latest computer model forecast showing the heaviest rain towards Chicago and south of Milwaukee. Just some light rain showers right now, but thunderstorms upstream will arrive later on tonight. Off and on thunderstorm chances through Wednesday of next week, then cooler and drier at the end of the week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.